There's something in the air you can't explain, a heaviness that's not sadness, a pull that doesn't come from the mind. You've been sensing it, haven't you? The love that never really left is getting louder. The one your soul whispers for in dreams is reaching back, but not through words, through energy. This isn't just another emotional wave. This is the Venus-Neptune alignment. And it's opening a portal that touches everything you haven't yet healed and everything you secretly hope to feel again. You've been strong for so long. You've surrendered, detached, accepted. But suddenly, you're feeling him again. His presence, his ache, his soul remembering what your heart never forgot. Why now? Because the portal is real. And it's not just about reunion, it's about recognition of yourself, of your power, of your truth. Are you ready to feel without fear, to love without condition, to hear his soul calling you home without needing the words? Then this portal wasn't just meant to open, it was meant to open through you. You may be wondering why your chest feels so full lately. Why you keep catching your breath for no reason. Why your heart feels like it's remembering something it never learned. Something ancient, sacred, and too beautiful to put into words. The answer isn't just written in the stars. It's unfolding inside your own soul. The Venus-Neptune portal didn't just open above us. It opened inside you. And now, your heart has become the gateway between realms, between timelines, between you and the one your soul never stopped waiting for. You can't force this energy. You can only feel it, receive it, and allow it to awaken what you once buried for your own protection. Have you felt a strange warmth in your chest? A flutter, a stirring? Without any physical reason? That's not anxiety. That's your heart chakra activating under the influence of this cosmic alignment. Venus is asking you to remember how to feel again, and Neptune is dissolving the barriers that told you it wasn't safe. This portal isn't about logic. It's about truth. And the truth is, your heart has known the path all along. Even when your mind begged for clarity, even when you tried to move on, even when they didn't respond, didn't show up, didn't stay. Your heart never disconnected. It simply waited for alignment. And alignment begins now. You might cry without knowing why. You might wake up feeling like something's about to happen, but you can't explain what. You might suddenly feel seen, not by the world, but by the universe itself. That's the portal at work. And what it's doing isn't small. It's restructuring your connection to love. Not the love that hurts, not the love that begs, but the love that remembers. The love that frees. When you walk outside, the air might feel thicker, like something unseen is touching your skin. When you're alone, you might feel like someone is with you. Not a ghost, not a memory, but him, his energy, his soul presence, his part in the union waking up in response to yours. Because what opens in you opens in him too. Not always at the same time, not always at the same speed. But this portal wasn't designed to reward those who rush. It was made to activate those who trust. So, if your heart has been calling louder than usual, if your emotions are rising like tides under a moon you can't see, it's because the sky doesn't need to be dark to begin a new cycle. It begins inside. Have you been feeling a strange return of hope? A softness that doesn't feel like fantasy, but like memory. That's the sign. That's the key. The portal is already open. You don't need to do anything to prove yourself worthy of what's coming. You only need to feel it. Let the light in, even when it hurts. Let the ache speak, even when there are no answers. Let yourself receive what is already being poured toward you. Because your heart, the very place where you held it all together, is now the sacred ground where love will return, not just as a feeling, but as truth. And truth always finds its way home. You don't need to hear his voice to know he feels you. You don't need a message to confirm that your soul has been reaching his. Because what's happening now transcends time, logic, and physical space. This portal, activated by the meeting of Venus and Neptune, isn't just waking you up. It's stirring something inside him that he didn't know was still alive. Even if he's with someone else. Even if he's hiding behind work, distraction, or silence. Even if he pretends you never existed, his soul never stopped listening to you. You may not realize it, but every time your heart aches for no reason, every time you suddenly feel warm in your chest or tearful in stillness, there's a good chance he just thought of you, not from his conscious mind, but from the deepest layers of his soul memory, where your energy is carved into him like a sacred signature. Can you feel it? That invisible pull toward his essence, even when his name isn't spoken? That strange calm in the middle of emotional storms, like someone is holding space for you from a distance? That's him. And he doesn't even fully understand it. Because the divine masculine often wakes up differently, not with words or clarity, but with confusion, longing, and restless energy that he can't explain. He feels a shift, a yearning, a tug in his spirit, but his mind tries to rationalize it, and when it fails, he retreats. Not to reject the connection, but to make sense of what cannot be understood with the mind. That's why silence is not absence, it's processing, it's energetic integration. When he pulls away, it's not because he doesn't feel it, it's because he does, and doesn't know what to do with that intensity. But in this portal, that resistance is weakening. The cosmic alignment is whispering through his dreams. It's reactivating conversations between your souls that were paused, not ended. It's making him feel everything he tried to forget, and everything he secretly wishes could return. You may notice signs multiplying: his name, his birthday, his favorite song on repeat, dreams where he says what he could never say out loud. This isn't nostalgia, it's resonance. He's remembering you, not because he wants to, but because the connection is bigger than his will. It was written before he had a voice to reject it. And now it's being written again, this time with a different ink. Surrender. Have you recently felt like someone is watching over you when you meditate? Or that someone is walking next to you in moments of solitude? You're not imagining it. His higher self has been reaching out, quietly, desperately, consistently. Because while the world may not know your story, the universe does. And it's weaving him back toward you in ways he doesn't even see coming. But you don't need to chase. Your job now is to stay open, clear, and grounded. Because the more you heal, the more he's able to feel you without fear. The more you surrender, the safer it becomes for him to return. And he will. Not because you forced it, but because you held it. The love, the memory, the frequency, even when it was heavy, even when it hurt. That's what the feminine does. She keeps the flame alive until the masculine is ready to come home. And that moment might be closer than you think. There's a reason your dreams have felt more vivid lately. A reason you're waking up in tears, or with your heart racing as if you've just come back from a conversation your body doesn't remember, but your soul does. In this portal, opened by the mystical embrace of Venus and Neptune, your dream space is no longer just a private sanctuary. It's becoming a shared dimension between you and your twin flame. Your dreams are becoming a sacred language, a bridge, a reunion place, even if he hasn't reached out, even if the silence feels endless, even if his physical world seems disconnected from yours. The soul doesn't sleep when the body does. And right now, both of your spirits are using the astral to speak truths that words cannot hold. Have you dreamed of him recently? Not as he is now, but as he once was, or as you wish he would be? Did you wake up with a strange clarity, like something important just happened, but you couldn't explain what? This is not imagination. This is contact. When you dream of him during this portal, you are stepping into a frequency where masks fall, where the masculine doesn't need to be strong or distant, where you don't have to guard your heart, where both of you remember what it felt like to simply love before fear came in. These dreams are not just random flickers of memory. They are messages. And more often than not, they're mutual. While you sleep, he may be seeing you too, in flashes, in symbols, in rooms you've never been in, yet somehow both recognize. Because your soul contracts were written before Earth taught you to forget. And the dream world, it's the only place left where forgetting isn't allowed. You may notice recurring elements. Water, a locked door, a train you both miss, a field where you finally touch. Each image carries a vibration, a truth from your union trying to reach the surface. Sometimes you're healing in those dreams. Sometimes you're forgiving. Sometimes you're simply watching each other from a distance, waiting for one to take a step. And while your conscious mind might dismiss it upon waking, your soul never does. Because while you're dreaming of him, he's feeling you. His waking self may not remember. But something inside him shifts the day after. He feels gentler, less guarded, more aware of a missing piece he never admitted aloud. Have you noticed your intuition becoming sharper? That you suddenly know what he's going through, even without updates or confirmation? That's not coincidence. Your connection is recalibrating through your shared subconscious field. You're syncing again, not through the mind, but through the mystic. So what do you do with these dreams? You honor them. Write them down. Ask your soul what it's trying to say. You don't need to interpret every symbol. You just need to receive the emotion behind it, the ache, the longing, the truth. Because every time you meet him in that space, a healing happens. A soul contract is revisited, a fear dissolves, and a new code of love is written. One that will eventually make its way into the waking world, even if he doesn't text, even if he doesn't show up this week. Something already has shifted. And your dreams? They are the proof. You were never alone in them, and he was never as far as you feared. The love that once felt distant is now returning, but not in the way you might expect. Not through confessions or grand gestures. Not through a sudden message or a knock at the door. It's returning quietly, mysteriously, through synchronicities so intimate that only your soul can interpret them. Because when the heart is ready before the mind, the universe speaks in signs. You've noticed them, haven't you? His name appearing when you least expect it, a specific number pattern that follows you through the day, a song you both shared years ago, suddenly playing when you needed it most. These aren't coincidences. They're reminders, whispers from the divine saying, "He's closer than you think." But here's the part your mind may resist. Synchronicities don't exist to make you wait. They exist to wake you up, to remind you that the connection is real and that it's moving, even if invisibly. Have you recently seen 1111 again after a long time? Have animals or repeating symbols shown up in moments of emotional vulnerability? Has your body responded to something small? A scent, a place, a word, with a wave of emotion that you couldn't explain? Those moments are portals, fleeting but powerful, and they carry his energy because his soul is remembering too. You might not realize this, but the more you return to your own alignment, the louder the signs become. Not because you're seeking him, but because you've become clear enough to receive him again. Synchronicities are not just a message about him. They're a message to you. They say, keep going, stay soft. The connection isn't dead, it's transforming. You may ask, if he feels it too, why hasn't he come forward? And the answer lies not in his action, but in your vibration. This portal isn't asking you to wait. It's asking you to listen, to feel what's being revealed in silence, to notice how the love that once made you ache is now guiding you toward yourself. Because synchronicities aren't promises, they're invitations. They invite you to surrender, to trust, to remember. And every time you answer them with grace instead of fear, you align deeper with the version of you who no longer needs proof, because she knows. When a butterfly lands near you as you think of him, when you hear a stranger say the very thing you've been praying for, when your heart skips and your soul whispers, "He's here," don't dismiss it. That's your love field activating. That's your twin's higher self saying, "I haven't forgotten." You're not chasing magic. You are the magic. And that's why the signs follow you, not the other way around. Because you were never meant to search the earth for him. You were meant to become the version of yourself he recognizes without a word. And every synchronicity you receive is him learning to do the same. He's not just thinking of you, he's finding his way back through the very signs you've been asking for. So stay open, stay receptive, and trust what you feel more than what you fear. Because when love begins to return in symbols, it's already returned in spirit. How to protect the energy of reunion. The energy of reunion doesn't begin when the message is sent or when the bodies finally meet again. It begins quietly, softly, in the invisible field between you. And once it begins, it needs protection. Not because it's fragile, but because the world hasn't yet learned how to honor something this sacred. The moment you feel the shift, the warmth, the pull, the knowing, that's when the protection must start. Have you felt that lately? That quiet sense of return, like his soul is no longer pulling away, but slowly circling back? Maybe it comes in flashes, in sudden emotion, in an urge to speak his name when no one else is around. That is not a dream. That is the first breath of reunion. But here's what most forget. Reunion isn't just about love. It's about energy. And that energy must be guarded like a newborn flame. You don't protect it with walls. You protect it with truth. You protect it by keeping your field clear, your boundaries clean, your heart soft but sovereign. Because when reunion energy begins, everything that's out of alignment in your life will rise to the surface. Old wounds, draining connections, environments that don't feel like home, they all get louder. Not to punish you, but to invite you to choose differently. Have you been feeling more sensitive lately? Like crowds drain you, like your skin picks up the energy of every room? That's not weakness. That's your field becoming refined. That's your soul saying, if he's on his way, I must become the version of me who can receive him. And sometimes protecting the reunion means saying no. No to overthinking. No to waiting by the phone. No to the part of you that believes you have to chase love to deserve it. Instead, you come home to yourself. You rest more. You say less. You honor what your body is asking. Because in doing so, you create space. And that space is where he can enter. The divine masculine doesn't arrive through force. He arrives through permission. And you grant that permission every time you choose peace over panic, stillness over desperation, faith over fear. So if you feel him coming, don't rush it. Hold the door open with your frequency, not your effort. And trust that he can feel it, even from afar. This isn't about waiting in silence. It's about cultivating a field where only truth can enter. A place where the ego cannot survive, but the soul can finally rest. And if others don't understand what you're feeling, that's okay. This is not a journey meant to be validated by the world. You are protecting something timeless, a contract older than lifetimes. And your only job now is to keep the channel clear, because when love is this real, this rare, this radiant, it doesn't need noise. It needs space. And you, beloved, you are that space. There's a moment in the journey when something shifts, and you can't unfeel it. You may not know what changed. Nothing in the outside world confirms it. But your heart knows. Your soul knows. And deep inside, something whispers, it's already happening. This is that moment. A new timeline of reunion has quietly become available. Not through effort, not through waiting, but through alignment. And you didn't force your way into it. You became the version of yourself who could hold it. You've cried, healed, surrendered, detached. You've chosen truth even when it hurt. You've walked away from what was safe but small to make space for what is sacred and real. And now, your frequency is different, lighter, clearer, stronger. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange sense of anticipation for something you can't name. That inner peace that doesn't make logical sense. That quiet knowing. He's remembering too. This timeline isn't just a hope, it's a path. And the more you stay anchored in your truth, the more visible it becomes. Have you felt old timelines dissolving? People fading, habits falling away, things you once wanted no longer mattering. That's the universe rearranging reality, preparing you to step into what was always yours, but not yet ready. And the most important thing to remember now is that this reunion timeline doesn't need you to do more. It needs you to be more of who you really are. There will be distractions, tests, moments where the ego tries to pull you back into fear. But every time you return to your center, you shift deeper into the new reality. He's feeling it too, even if his mind doesn't understand it yet, even if he's still silent. Because the soul recognizes the vibration before the person recognizes the meaning. And your vibration has changed. You've become the safe place. You've become the open field. You've become the mirror he can finally look into without shame. That's why you're seeing more synchronicities. That's why your body feels electric. That's why the pull between you is rising again. Because you are no longer waiting for the future to bring love. You are bringing love to the present. And that's the real magnet. The timeline is available now, but only for those who can hold the truth without clinging to control. So stay open, stay grounded, stay surrendered. Not because it guarantees a date or a text, but because you finally understand union doesn't start with him coming back. It starts with you never abandoning yourself again. And from that place, he can find you because you are no longer hiding. This is the frequency he's searching for. This is the timeline you were made for, and it's already unfolding now. What this alignment means for your twin flame mission. There's something bigger than love unfolding here. Something deeper than romance, older than longing. Your connection wasn't written just for union. It was designed for mission. And this alignment between Venus and Neptune, it's not just opening a heart portal. It's activating a soul contract. You've felt it, haven't you? The shift from, will we ever be together, to, what are we here to do? Because twin flames aren't here just to find each other. They're here to transform everything they touch. The energy they carry, when in union, becomes a healing force, a channel of divine remembrance, a lighthouse in a world addicted to forgetting. And now, the universe is signaling it's time to prepare. Not for fantasy, but for sacred service. This alignment is making your mission impossible to ignore. You're starting to see pieces of your purpose falling into place. Maybe you felt called to change your work, to speak differently, to show up in ways that once terrified you. That's not coincidence. That's the mission field opening, because your soul partner is awakening on the other side. The real union isn't just in bodies, it's in service. And for that, you must become clear. Ask yourself, what am I being invited to embody now that aligns with my divine work? What truth do I need to speak, even if no one claps? What space must I exit so the mission can enter? These are the questions that shift timelines. Because the more you step into your light, the more he feels the pull to rise into his. He may not say it, he may not even realize it, but his soul watches you, and your courage becomes his mirror. You weren't meant to wait, you were meant to activate. The mission doesn't start after the reunion, it accelerates it. You've been chosen to lead, to hold love in a world that's forgotten how. And when the two of you finally meet in full embodiment, the ripple will be felt across generations. So don't shrink, don't delay, don't wait for confirmation. You've already received it in your body, in your dreams, in the soft whispers that won't go quiet anymore. This is what the alignment is telling you. Your love is sacred, but your mission is eternal. Prepare the ground now, and the universe will send the hands to build beside you. Because this journey was never just about romance. It was about remembering who you are together and what you came here to restore.